introduced. My name is Felistin Angelita Mbatu from regular class B. Here, I will explain about human sexuality. But before that, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video if it's useful. Thank you and please listen to this video. To understand human sexuality or any other subject in science, we have to rely on theory and the research that has been done. To understand the theory is that we explain how in the past individuals have paved the way for us by testing some of the ideas they have and thought reported testing through hypothesis testing. This theory are starting to gain some support from an evolutionary perspective. The theory of evolution has been supported through evidence and through hypotheses that have been carried out through scientific studies. Now, the theory is an intellectual structure basically, and an assumption of principles and ideas so that we can understand sexuality. It should be noted that this gives meaning to and guides our thinking about human sexuality. Is to say, fortunately, we no longer operate as individuals. Behaviors or behavioral learning theory is a popular concept that focuses on how students learn. Behaviors focuses on the idea that all behavior is learned through interaction with the environment. This learning theory states that behavior is learned from the environment and says that innate or innate factors have very little influence on behavior. A common example of behaviors is positive reinforcement. A student gets a small reward if they get 100% on their spelling test. In the future, students work hard and study for their exam to earn rewards. Behaviors is key for educator because it impacts how students read and behave in the classroom, and so the teachers can directly influence how students behave. It also helps teachers understand that students' home environment and lifestyle can influence their behavior. Help them see it objectively and work to help improve. Cognitive theory is a psychological approach that tries to explain human behavior by understanding your thought processes. For example, a therapist uses the principle of cognitive theory when they teach you how to identify maladaptive thought patterns and transform them into constructive ones. Next, I will describe the 5 stages of psychosexual development. The first of which is oral phase. At this stage, the source of pleasure felt by the child comes from the mouth. Children get this satisfaction by sucking, chewing food, or drinking breast milk. Uh, if this stage is not met, it can lead to a sense of dependence and affect the child's verbal development. At this stage, it may be said that it is not going perfectly for me. The reason is the meaning process in the oral phase that happened to me was when I was more than 1 year old. In this phase too, I often play the tongue over the wall of the mouth. The personality formation that has arisen to that is a sense of dependence and feeling very safe uh, when with the mother. However, if I am in a position of being alone or without a mother, I can still handle it independently. In addition, another consequence of this phase is that I can manage my verbal skill well. Anal phase. Instead, the source of the child's pleasure lies in the anus. Parents can instill this keeps line in their children through toilet training. I think I can pass this phase perfectly because since I was little, my parents have gotten used to when I feel like the vacation, then it's better to tell them from their day teacher teach when and where is the right place to defect. The effect is that although I am the type of person who sometimes fall apart, I can still control the behavior. I also try to pay attention to cleanliness. For example, I bring candy wrappers in class, so I'll keep the wrapper and throw it away if I see the trash can. 3. Phallic phase. Satisfaction lies in the authoric or public area. According to Freud, in this phase children tend to identify with parents of the same sex and love parents of the opposite sex. This event is called the Oedipus complex, in which a boy loves his mother and tries to avoid his father, and vice versa. In girls, it is called the Electra complex. At this stage, I feel close to both parents, including my father. This can be seen from the intensity of the father inviting him to play. For example, playing with toy cars. On the other hand, it's not that want to avoid mom. It was precisely at the time that my mother was always by my side. Because my father had to work outside the city, so I rarely saw him. At the time, I thought, why do you work so far away? And felt a little unwilling. Maybe this is what shapes my personal character as a person who feels. From the behavior of identifying myself with the mother, I can understand the role that should be carried out as a woman is like that. For example, seeing a mother wearing a headscarf and wearing powder, this behavior ha- has stuck with me continuously until now. Latent passe. At this stage, the child is diverted to intellectual pursuits and social interaction. In intellectual pursuits, my parents directed me to private abacus lessons. In addition, my parents also gave me a reward if I managed to reach the top 3 in school. This process continues to apply to me until now, namely having academic responsibilities even without getting any more rewards like before. Genital phase. In this phase, a person's reproductive organs mature. Someone will be attracted to the opposite sex and want to build a more intimate relationship with other people. When I entered this early stage, I was attracted to the opposite sex who I thought was smart in academics because at the time the majority of children did not really care about their school activities. However, as time went on, I found myself in an environment where there were a lot of smart men, and in fact, I wasn't attracted to them. After my analysis, it turned out that I am not interested in being intellectual, but I am interested in someone who different from another people. Talking about human sexuality may still be considered taboo by some people. First, knowledge and insight about this matter is important so as not to be mistaken for confusing information. What is human sexuality? Human sexuality is the way in which we experience and express ourselves as sexual beings. Sexuality includes all aspects related to sex, namely uh, gender, attitudes, sexual orientation, sexual behavior, relationship, and reproduction. In relation to sexual attraction to other people, uh, most of the opposite sex are heterosexual, some of the same sex are homosexual, some of both are bisexual. are not even sexual attracted to anyone or asexual. Hormones are also considered as one of the main drivers of sexual behavior. Men have higher level of androgens, while women have higher level of estrogen and progestin. Estrogen hormones affect male sexual and reproductive function, while estrogen and progesterone regulate the menstrual cycle, and are important for family reproduction. There are several ways individuals express their sexuality, namely thought, thought fantasies, behavior, roles, and relationships. You need to know that sexuality is a developing process. There are several stages of sexual development, including childhood. At this time, children often explore themselves. He also learned about love, compassion, and intimacy through nurturing relationships. Adolescents can experience puberty. He can experiment and explore other forms of sexuality, such as masturbation. It may even become sexually active young adulthood. In young adulthood, sexuality continues to develop. You may have a partner who is emotionally or uh, physically involved. All, all adulthood sexual desire may uh, decrease in other adults. However, many people maintain the desire to have an intimate relationship. Sexual dysfunction is a condition that makes a man or woman sexually unsatisfied. Sexual dysfunction can happen at any time and to anyone. However, the possibility of the emergence of sexual dysfunction is greater in the elderly. There are different types of sexual dysfunction that can occur in men or women. Sexual dysfunction can be a loss of desire to have sex. Uh, it can also be an inability to feel sexual stimulation despite the desire to have sex. In the other types of sexual dysfunction, a person have a desire to have sex and can feel sexual arousal, but cannot reach a climax or orgasm. People with sexual dysfunction may also feel pain or tenderness during sexual intercourse. Symptoms of sexual dysfunction. Symptoms of sexual dysfunction that appear in severus vary depending on the type. In addition, Men and women have different symptoms. Here are the symptoms of sexuality dysfunction is woman. Loss or decreased sexual desire. This type of sexual dysfunction is the most common in women. Sexual dysfunction is characterized by a loss of desire to have sex, disorder of sexual arousal passion. With this type of sexual dysfunction, still have sexual desire. However, sufferers find it's difficult to be aroused or maintain stimulation during sexual intercourse. Pain. A patient will feel pain during sexual intercourse. This condition can be caused by fasting, such as vaginismus, vaginal dryness, and tight vaginal muscles, orgasm disorder. Woman who suffers from this type of sexual dysfunction will have this difficulty reaching orgasm, even though stimulation and stimulation are carried out continuously. As in women, the symptoms of sexuality can function in men also vary according to the type. Symptoms of sexual dysfunction in men are loss of sexual desire. Men who suffer from this type of sexual dysfunction feel a loss or decrease in the desire to have sex. Erectile dysfunction or impotence will make it difficult for men to keep their penis erect during sexual intercourse. Ejaculation disorder. This condition causes men to ejaculate too quickly or premature ejaculation, or even take too long during sexual intercourse. Next, gender identity. Identity refers to a person's appreciation of his or her gender, including knowledge, understanding, and acceptance of being a man or a woman. Egan and Perry, 2001. Sexual orientation is a feeling of sexual and emotional attraction to a particular gender.